Well, good afternoon and good morning, and welcome to VP4TV. We have a one-loss side match that's been arranged in this year's Virtual World Snooker Championship between MC Clarkey and hyzeric. Now, MC Clarkey has been here for quite a while, getting some practice in. We are barely 2 minutes away from the room going up, and there is no sign of his opponent. Now, he might be using the Albinario approach, where he just comes in at the last minute, or he might not show up. So we may or we may not have a match. So we wait patiently to see if he's going to arrive. In the meantime, there's been a match update on the Bankpool World Championships, and the match has been arranged between Larry and One Pocket Slim. Needless to say, they're both from the States, so it's going to be a time that I won't be there to cover that. I don't know whether Slim's going to cover it himself, but Larry plays Slim on Thursday night at 11 PM. Now, although that's my day off still tomorrow, it's far too late because I'm back to work on Friday morning, so I won't see any of that. Also, the match between Real Poland Power and Bedhead, that goes ahead on Friday at 10 PM. That's again too late for me. The match I will be covering will be Albinario and Cobra, and that is on Sunday evening at 7:30 PM. So that is the matches that are outstanding at the moment. Meanwhile, hyzeric has arrived in the lobby, so we do have a match on, and the room should be going up any second now. I'll have a quick tab out just in case. There's certainly no sign of Steve because it's still, what time is it there? It will be like 11 AM Eastern, so he probably doesn't know this match is on because it was set fairly rapidly, I would imagine. So the room's up, we go in. It's a race to 4 on the one-loss side. hyzeric is in. Good afternoon to Coldest Pillow. Good afternoon to Lard. Welcome to Dwight and anybody else. So we'll have the lag as soon as Matt gets in. He may well still be practicing in his room, but you already have heard the alarm letting him know that the room is up. Well, hyzeric, we've seen that he wants to be aggressive. The problem is he's not been able to follow it up. But for a player with a 2,300 odd rating, you would think he may well produce the goods at some point. So we've got MC Clarkey on the right and hyzeric on the left. Now I'm just double checking, where's hyzeric from? According to that, he's from Singapore. I'll look at the cue stick on the left. Well, hyzeric definitely won the lag. Pretty much dead weight on the lag. And he's chosen to break. Loads of left hand side in the cue ball to get around the angles in between the pink and blue. And try and drop it as close as you can to that baulk cushion. Now there are two tempters there. Problem with the one on the left is getting on the black, and the one on the right is trying to get behind the black. He might end up bumping something here as well. Well, just round the corner. He actually played that pretty well to get in the black. hyzeric has got the red. Now he should stun off the cushion and back up for the black into the same pocket. He could go around behind the black as well. You've got two ways of doing this. Is it possible to replicate a break in this game? Now, are you talking about replicate something that you've seen on TV? You don't mean the break-off shot. You're talking about a break. If there is a way, I certainly don't know about it. So hyzeric is in. He's only got one more really good open red to work with. The break-off shot, well, the break-off shot, you replicate that all the time as to what you see in real life. You play it with, off one of the corner reds with loads of left or right hand side to get around the corner and in between the pink and blue. That's how you break in real life snooker. I did that for many a year. Well, again, this is the aggressive shot, and this time he's got it. And again, there's one or two reds available. So the chance to put a decent little score on the board here in this first frame. Well, that's the problem with modern snooker now in real life. It's very difficult to break off in snooker and break off conventionally by doing what I said, hitting one of the corner reds and then spinning the cue ball around the angles and coming back to ball. It's very difficult to not leave a red on. That in real life now, the players are a lot more aggressive. As soon as you see a red is available, if they can pot that red and somehow get on a colour, they'll go for it nowadays. They didn't used to years ago. Well, the thing is, in snooker, you've always got to have a straight pack. When the referee sets the table in real snooker, the balls are set so that the triangle of the pack is dead square behind the pink. He's got a guide to do that when he or she is setting the table. So in VP4, the pack is always dead square. There's not an alignment issue with the pack. There is slight alignment issues with the pack in 9-ball, but that's deliberately done. It used to be a lot more noticeable though before some of the more recent updates. You could see the pack was squinted to the left or to the right. Well, hyzeric's visit, I don't know how it ended because I was busy looking at the chat, but he only got 17, and Matt is in. Now this would be again an aggressive shot in the black if he's going to stun that in firm and get a nudge into the pack. He's going to have to keep this going unless there's something in the pack. Well, I'm not quite sure what he was trying there because it certainly wasn't aggressive enough to really improve the status of the pack. So he's hung the black ball, but hyzeric can only run for cover here, cut that red back into the pack and run down behind the blue and brown if he can. That's what he should be. He should be trying to get that line, but he has to be careful with the red that he doesn't leave it on. Well, he couldn't do that. He couldn't get behind the brown and blue with the angle he had, but that'll do it. Now, of course, we have a problem with the black bin over the pocket. All the safety shots from the left-hand side are going to push reds over that direction, and till eventually somebody blocks the path on that left-hand side. and they can do that by getting behind the brown and blue. That'd be the more obvious way to go, and then it makes it very difficult for the incoming player to find a safety shot to get back to baulk. So you can get situations like this in real life snooker in a professional game where a colour does end up over the corner pocket, and usually it is the black up the top end of the table, and then the players are playing safe and nudging red over towards the black, and then it ends up in a stalemate and have a re-rack. But in the not too distant future, there's going to be a problem for one of these two players. There's still the edge of that red behind the pink there sticking out, so this is going to be the last chance for hyzeric to put Matt in trouble. If he finishes too far to the right with the cue ball here, there's still a path back to baulk using one of those reds. Now you see, if he misses the blue here, or bumps into like that, Matt's still got a shot, but he's got to be careful he doesn't nudge a red onto the other red and then knock the black in. So you've got to check how you're hitting the red first of all. He may well hit that one that he's sort of looking at, just to catch the edge of it, because that's the safest one to play, that one there that he played. And again, it's ran into the green, so now we've got the green, blue and brown sort of, well, not quite in a cluster, but it's a good position to hide behind. Well, it's a surefire way to prevent your opponent having a shot. I mean, you know, it's the one thing, but it can end up tip tapping for 10 minutes. That's the only thing about it. But I would tend to still go for the conventional break. Now, you look at those reds now; they're all gathering over by the black. So now it becomes more and more tricky. And sooner or later, somebody's going to make a mistake. Well, Matt's still got an easy safety off this red. That's the one that's below the pink as we look. That's the one to get back to baulk. Now he's got an opportunity with a good line off this red to get back up and try and get behind that brown, blue and green. But again, he's not quite got the pace. Just overhit it. So that red that's up and to the left of the pink, that exposed one, again, that's the one to play safe off. Well, that might head into the pocket. And it's caught the bump. And now this is now tricky. There's no obvious way to get back to baulk here. He's probably going to have to concede control of the table to hyzeric here, Matt, because they've decided to call a draw. That's the first one I think we've had in the tournament. Matt's just asking if it's still it's still hyzeric to break, and the answer to that is yes, it is, because you're restarting the frame, you know, as if it never existed, and it goes back to square one. Well, that was good sense by both of them, because it was going to end up going nowhere. There could have been another 15-20 minutes there tapping around the reds, hoping not to knock that black in. So that was almost 15 minutes of our life that we won't get back there, that first frame, or the first attempt at it. Well, this is tricky to get on that red unless you bump back off the black and bump to red the other way to the right. And I think the angle that he's got in the black is too much. So he's bailed out in the yellow. And he's got to screw back off this red. Probably end up maybe in one of the bulk colours, the brown or the green here. Well, he's played it softer. He's still the wrong side of the blue. I don't think the pink goes. No, it's tied up. So follow through in the brown and try and get up the table. I think he was trying to play for that red at the side of the pack there. Now he has got it. Now this is going to do some damage. And of course the problem with that is you're running through the reds, you've no clue whether you're going to have any sort of shot. Problem now of course also is, if you look at this, you've got a red here, you've got a red there, and Matt's looking for a safety. And he may well have to try potting this yellow, because it's going to be difficult to not leave hyzeric a shot. I think whatever he does, he's going to leave a shot either way. And that's a good pot. Okay, he's a big distance from the reds. I don't know that I think he can see enough of that one up the top right. And he doesn't need to thump this in, he just needs to use the pace of the cue ball back up for the blue or the bulk colour. Now, that's gone just a bit too far in the blue. I mean, okay, yes, you can still cut it in. Thing is, he's probably running into the pink. The simple shot is to take the brown and go forward and come around and out into the table for that red up there. The black does go from that side. Now that is running a pretty good line, and this should be simple enough just to bump the red in, come back up the table for the black. I think you're talking about that shot Matt played on the red that was at the side of the pack. Well, yes, it would have been the better shot, because that way you're making sure the cue ball's coming out of the pack. When you go forward trying to go through a whole bunch of reds, you're going to be really lucky to have any shot at a colour. The best way is to play that shot like he did, but screw back into the table, because then he's got a chance of having a choice of like 4 colours, the yellow, green, brown or blue. And that's no good. I mean, he's got a cut in the red. He's got that red. Thing is, he's going to have to sort of nip it in to try and get the cue ball through that gap. That one there doesn't go. So this is tricky, this one. He's going to duck for cover, and I think that again is the right shot. You know, just take what you can get and then run. Break ends in 24. Shot to nothing here for hyzeric. That red to the left of that cluster of 3, or he can play the red that's just off the top cushion, the extreme left one. He's got to get it thin, but the shot to nothing would also work, and that's the one he is having a go at, but he's bumped into the red, and Matt's going to have a shot here. Now, does the black go the other side? I don't think it does. So that is a problem. That red's covering the path of the black. So once again, that red that he's going for now, he goes forward with the cue ball. He's hoping he doesn't bump the red to the left of the other red when he's trying to come back with the cue ball, but he might be able to bump and get on that pink. Let's have a look at the pink. No, the pink's too tight, so that's not on either. Well, that is not handy, is it? Can he see the green? I don't think he can. So now he's got to work the yellow, come around the corner. And it's not a difficult shot, because he just needs to get out behind the blue and green and play that red to the right hand side. That's what he's looking at. But again, it's all going to be hard work because of where the pink and black are. They're more or less dead. I think the black will go on the right hand side, but that's a problem for hyzeric, because Matt has built up a little lead here, and it's going to be tough for hyzeric to score anything substantial the way the pink and black are set up, and I think Matt's gone too far. I mean, he had that whole area this side to get on that red, and that wasn't a good shot. He's overhit it, and Matt's now given himself a problem. He could just run into the bunch of reds there. I mean, that's the sort of negative safety, but it's the one surefire way you guarantee you're leaving nothing on. But he's went for the plant, and that was a good shot, because it was nowhere near easy. Good afternoon to Repetition. Oh, what price is it on Steam, and what is it you're getting in the bundle? Is it the game and all the DLC? Because that's really what you want. If it's the full package with all the DLC maps. Oh well, Albinario is a strong favourite. My money's on him. And the best time, obviously, to buy any package on a game is when Steam's got the Steam sale on. Yeah, find out what's in the package and tell me, and I'll tell you whether it's a good buy or not. Now the question is have you got Euro Truck, or are you thinking of buying it? Or are you just buying the DLC? I don't know. I mean, yeah, but you can't get it. I don't think you can get it in a package in any of the third-party game stores. I don't think they do. I think you can buy individual DLC for reasonable prices on the game stores, but again, don't buy it outright until there's a sale on. Well, Going East and Scandinavia were the two earliest DLCs, but there's a lot more that you need in the package before it's a good buy. And there's there's dozens of DLCs, lots of them you don't need. There's like Heavy Cargo, which I've got. I can't remember. I've got quite a few of them. But I've got all the map DLCs, and the reason I do is because I install a lot of map mods as well. I've got a big, I just reinstalled a big global combo map combination the other day there. It's got the big South America map in it. It's got quite a few of the Russian maps in it. It's also got Road to Asia in it as well. So that, I mean, there's tens of thousands of miles of driving on it. But in order, you know, if you're going to get Eurotruck, you've got to get into installing the map combos, because that makes it far more enjoyable. Well, Matt's home and dry here in this first frame because you know, he's got everything in play now. He's got 66 on the board, a break of 42, and a chance. Well, I was about to say a chance to get a century here. He's probably going to have to take that pink, and I think he might be a bit straight. Has he got enough angle? He's got enough angle. No. Listen, here's what you do, repetition. Well, Matt's break ends on 49. Don't do anything, right? Do nothing. Do nothing until I have a look at what's available. So that's my advice, because there's, you know, just buying the base game is about 4 or 5 quid, which is a bargain. But don't be buying that on its own. In fact, I'll tell you what. Right, they just started this frame. Just give me a second. I'm going to tab out for a second. Hold on. Let me just... let me just do this. I'll be back in a minute. Now, at the moment, Eurotruck Simulator is not on sale, so steer well clear of it, because at the moment they've got it on Steam at £16.49, and that is nowhere near a bargain. Now, let me look at this bundle info. Right, there's a package. There's a package with the essentials, which I think is all the map DLCs. Well, let's see what that is. Oh no, there's a whole pile of them. There's loads of stuff. But guess what price it is? It's £211. So yeah, don't go near Eurotruck at the moment. Don't go near Eurotruck at all. Stay well away from Eurotruck. Do not buy anything on Eurotruck at the moment, because it's not on sale. They're asking £16 for the game, and when you get it on sale, it's only like a £5. So do not touch it. So we didn't really miss anything. That's the first red gone in. I think Tam, or Tornado Tam as he used to be known, I think he bought Eurotruck, but the mistake he did was a mistake you could have done. He didn't. He just bought the game, and now, of course, he's. I don't think he's ever playing it, because he's only got the game. He didn't take advice to get a package or something, and probably he probably got the game at a cheap price when it was on sale, but he never got all the real essential map DLC, which is what you need to expand the game, but it's also what you need if you're going to install map mods on top of it. Right, well, there's always a Steam sale on it sometime, so you'll get a much better deal then. The American one is fine if you're American. I've got it, but I do not play it that often. Because the map mods that are available for it, it hasn't. Well, the best map mod in the American truck one is the Mexican map, which has got a whole cluster of maps in it. It's a great map. It's right, obviously down at the south of the US into Mexico. It's one of the better maps. Pro Mods Canada is in it as well. I just don't like the American trucks. Simple as that. I always, when I play American Truck Simulator, I don't use the trucks that are in the game. I go and get a mod truck and install it. Freightliner Argosy truck is the one I usually drive. No, don't bother with that either. Don't be buying any crap off, any second-hand stuff off websites. Because you never know what you're getting at the end of the day. It's all very well what it says, what the package has, but whether you get it's a different thing altogether. So, hyzeric has a problem with the black, and maybe a problem if he pots the pink. Well, the pink will go in its spot, but there are reds covering its path to both corner pockets, so he needs to be aware of that, and he's about to pot the pink, I think. And as soon as he does that, he's more or less tying the pink up, because you can't really get access to it. It's still going to be hard work for hyzeric to put a score together here, because he's having to travel back up the table for either the blue or the bulk colour. And I've got, I subscribe to 2 or 3 of the guys on YouTube who come up with the map combos, and they also have links to the downloads where you download the map file. Some files that you download are SCS files, which that's the simplest ones, because all you do with them is copy them and paste them into your Eurotruck mod folder. Some are downloaded as like a bigger package in a RAR file or a 7-zip file, so you have to unzip them and then well, what I like to do is I unzip them into a folder, so I've got all my mods on a folder on the desktop, and then I can copy and paste them all into the mod folder, because that way I know I've got a copy of the mods in case something happens. But installing mods is dead easy. That's the least of your problems, but getting a good deal in Eurotruck's the bigger problem. No, I haven't. I'll tell you why I don't like the multiplayer. First of all, my enjoyment in Eurotruck is specifically with the map mods installed, and also with specific truck mods or specific modded truck. Now, if you're going to play the Eurotruck multiplayer, then probably, unless you're in a group of guys where you know each other in Discord and stuff like that, then you'll probably find the easiest way to get into a multiplayer in Eurotruck is by having just the base game and all the DLCs and no other mods installed, because that's the frustrating thing about multiplayer, is that if you have map mods installed or truck mods or any other mods that you have installed, you won't be able to join any of the online games, because everybody in the game must have exactly the same mods or nothing works, and you won't be able to connect. It won't let you into that game. So to me, that's frustrating. So I also tried the unofficial multiplayer a few years ago. This was before the game developers decided that a lot of people wanted multiplayer convoy mode, and I didn't like that either, because you had lunatics on there, and you had, it was poor connections, and you had trucks appearing out of nowhere, and oh no. So I've steered well clear of that. But if there's just a group of you, if there's a group of you, maybe 4 or 5 in a group, and you've all got the same mods and all the same map mods installed, then you can probably have a good time and a good laugh. But to me, it's too much hassle. So, hyzeric on a break of 33 here. So a chance for an immediate response. And this is, he's actually just nudged off a red there and held for the other one, but that's now clustered these 3 reds together. Now, a little nudge there, he was always going to catch that red. And now, what he could do, I mean, he's got a slight angle, he could try and stun and hit these reds, he's bound to still be in that one. I don't know whether he's going to do that though. Yeah, it was too straight. He's just got enough angle to get up there, but he hasn't really gone far enough, so he's going to have to bail out up table here. It looks as if he's maybe trying to come back across to the pink into the same pocket. Or he could be going down for the blue. It's hard to tell what he's trying. Now that needs to keep running. If it keeps running and it stops about there, this is nice, because now he can get a little bump. He doesn't need to be aggressive. He just needs to pot the pink and get a little bump to open them up. Of course, again, he doesn't really know that he's going to be good in a red from this. But now's the time to make the move. And that's worked out perfect. Everything wide open. And a chance of a big break here. That was the critical shot there. Getting perfect on the pink and getting a little nudge. And that's then what allows you to keep going. He's a bit straight in the black though. Let's have a look. No, he's got a slight angle. He can play for that red there by just going through and around the corner now. And he doesn't like it though. Oh dear. Stunned it firm, but too firm. And no sooner has the commentator's curse come out than the break ends in 56. But the frame isn't won yet. That's the problem now. What the hell's happened to Matt? Because his queue isn't appearing. And I think Matt has left the building. I'll tell you what I downloaded the other day. Bear in mind I've been installing things back into my PC since I got it fixed. And I had done an update for R Factor, the racing game. And a while ago I downloaded a track mod. It was the Isle of Man TT circuit. All 37 miles of it. And as much as obviously it's used for motorcycle racing, the mod you can install in R Factor 2, and you can use it to race cars on. But I also the other day downloaded a kart mod, and it was the Super Kart mod, 250cc, and I tried to drive around the 37-mile course of the TT course, and well, I lost count the amount of times I crashed and killed myself. Absolutely insane it was. Well, I don't know what the hell Matt was doing, but he's come to life, and he's got a lot of work to do. And I think he's dead straight on this red. Yeah, there's not a lot he could do with that. So, I mean, this is all or nothing if he's going to take on the blue, because he has to avoid the traffic down this end of the table here to get back up the table to have a shot in that red to the right if he goes that direction. But it looks as if he's playing the cut back in the black, so this will keep him in the frame or it will lose him the frame, one of the two. Well, the red isn't going to be easy for hyzeric. I'll tell you the one thing I'm hoping for. The one big thing I'm hoping for in gaming is that in recent times, Sony have been transferring some of their games over to the PC. You know, admittedly they've been out on the console for maybe a couple of years, but then they've been issuing them out on the PC. Now I'm just hoping and praying that they eventually get around to porting Gran Turismo 7 onto the PC, because that'll make my day, and I can then get back into the kart racing in Gran Turismo, because that's the best fun I've ever had. I've always said it. The best fun I ever had in gaming was Gran Turismo racing the karts. Absolutely hilarious. And it's even more hilarious when you're wired up with your headset hurling abuse at each other. Oh, I'll tell you, the tears were rolling down my face. Many of the time I had sore sides playing that game. Now, we only ever did kart racing on it. I wasn't interested in the cars. None whatsoever. You know, I did a bit of the career mode thing, you know, doing the different circuits and stuff, but I already knew all the circuits anyway. But we had our own Gran Turismo kart racing league, and we did endurance kart racing. One of the tracks we used to have a race on was the Nordschleife, you know, all 17 miles of it, and we used to have 10 laps in it, and obviously you had to have pit stops and stuff like that, but that was great. Those were the days, great fond memories of playing that game. It really is. See, once you get a bunch of guys that are all in it for the same thing, you can have a great time. Because we had our own private room, kept all the riffraff out. You just kept the whole bunch of yous together that were racing in the league. So, one frame apiece, and both players had chances of getting decent big breaks, but they didn't come through. Good afternoon to Tyler. I mean, the bit I still don't understand is why there has to be this exclusivity in games. You know, I think that you know, companies like Sony, as much as they've got billions of dollars, not just Sony, but all the rest of them, you know, these exclusive deals that they do for the console market, I think they're depriving a lot of gamers on the PC from enjoying. I mean, the only reason I got a PlayStation 3 was for Gran Turismo 3, nothing else. Absolutely nothing. Or Gran Turismo 4, was it? I can't remember. But I think whatever one introduced the karts into Gran Turismo, that was the one that I got, and I only bought a PlayStation 3 for that. And it's sitting here thick with dust. I haven't been near it since they pulled the plug in Gran Turismo. But I just wish that they would do it across the board and bring them out on the PC as well as the consoles. Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, a few of the recent games that were ported over. What was that game? God of War or something. I played that. I got one of them that fell off the back of a lorry, and I played that full game, and that was a port from the PS. Was it the PS4 or the P? I think it was the PS4, which came to the PC, and it was a bloody good game. I enjoyed it, but you know, it was already 2 years old, I think, when it finally got ported to the PC. So I've got my fingers crossed, and I'm just hoping that suddenly I see a message coming through in one of my emails saying, whatever his name, Nakamura, or whatever the guy's name is, we're going to port it to the PC. That'll be it. I'll be gone from here. You won't see me around here very much. Well, that was a shot to try and improve the situation. So hyzeric has a start, but again, he's got the same problem. He's only got this red and the black, and one red at the back of the bunch that he can really play on. Oh, here's a bit of advice. I don't know whether any are aware, but are you aware of that Gollum game that was released the other week there? Obviously, Gollum's the character out of Lord of the Rings. I downloaded it to test it the other day, and oh my god, what an ugly looking little bastard Gollum is. Absolutely looks nothing like he does in the film, because it's not ported by, it's not got any connection with the film at all as far as the graphics go. The Gollum character, when you get a close-up of his face, my god. And of course it doesn't have the voice actors in it either, because obviously that would cost a fortune to get. You know, you've got a wizard in it, and all he's called is a wizard. He's not called by name, and you've got a voice actor doing him. But I played it for an hour or so, and I just thought it was horrible. So that got uninstalled and binned. I always uninstall them and breathe a sigh of relief that I didn't pay 40 quid for that. Well, Matt's potted a red, but he's going to have to dig out a good pot on a colour to not only get the colour, but get any sort of shot in a red. Now, the only red that really he can go for is the one in the open, which is there, and then for it's blocked with the black. So I mean, he's in Stuck here. I mean, he's not got a lot of options. He'd probably far better just ducking for cover here. I don't see any benefit in potting a colour other than the fact he'll probably have to come up with a safety shot after it. So he's far better playing it right now. Oh, I mean, most PC, right, what you've got to understand with PC games, they're working to deadlines, you know. They'll come up with a release date, and then it either gets held, you know, if they've got any common sense, then, you know, they'll delay the release date. But some of these big franchise games, you know, they're committed to get them out on the market, and you know, I tried that Cyberpunk when it came out, and it was bugged to hell. Very early on in the game, you got to a point where you couldn't go any further. It was bugged, and also Sniper Elite 5 when it came out. I posted a video with a bug in the first mission, or I think it was the first mission, or was it the second one? It's the one where you have to blow up you have to destroy the smelters, and I think it's the third one I got to, and you couldn't complete the action to destroy the final smelter, and so that was you stuck. You couldn't end the mission. There was no way of ending the mission, and it was a genuine bug. And when I posted the video on my YouTube channel, and loads of guys got to the same point, and so we had to wait on a fix on that. I don't know what it is, but I'm a sucker for the Sniper Elite games, but I'm absolutely hopeless at the online on it. How many times have I tried online on it? You start the game, off you go, bang, dead. And you don't know where the hell you've been shot from. Absolutely useless. Well, you see, Sniper Elite's fun again if it's a group of guys that you've played online with. But you know, I'm getting into random lobbies with where it's, you know, multiplayer, it's team versus team, and you dare not stick your head out because there's some bugger sitting there ready to pop you through the eyes. Well, I think I've had every Sniper Elite that's been out. The only thing is I haven't bought any DLC for it, because it's all just like anything I've got has been the free DLC. Because the reason I don't buy any more of the DLC is because I've already completed the whole game, and I've completed the whole game about 3 or 4 times. The only thing I do when I restart Sniper Elite is just try and complete it a different way, do the missions in a different way, rather than sticking to the same thing all the time. I remember the first time I completed the game, the final mission is to kill Hitler, and they give you a clue as to where he goes to get his breakfast and that sort of thing. I didn't even pay any attention to that. I just got rid of all the enemies. Eventually came to his retreat, his big house, got into that, and then I was actually hiding in the garden, and there was a car parked outside. That was Hitler's car. I didn't even realise it. So as I was lying in the bushes hiding from the guards, I just lobbed a grenade over onto the top of the car, and the next thing I know, that was the end of the mission, because I'd killed Hitler in the car and I didn't even know it. I didn't even know it was him. I killed him by accident. I had Hitman. I think I had did I have Hitman 3? I didn't like it. I don't know why. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I gave it a real. I don't think I gave it a real go. What was the other one? Mafia 3. I enjoyed it. I completed all of that. Yeah, I definitely completed Mafia 3. I'm waiting in the next big Gran Turismo coming out, but that won't be for a long while. But that's going to be some crazy game when it comes out. So where have we got to? Well, we've got Matt on 47, hyzeric on 0, 1 frame apiece, Matt and a break of 38. red into the side. I don't know whether he can follow the line and go straight through for the blue, because he needs to have an angle to try and disturb the reds here. Now he's got an angle. Let's see if there's any red. There's nothing really on here. He's got to get a bump. I mean, having said that, there is a possibility of the plant that he might have to tweak to get that red to go in. Now, the red could go into the middle as well. In fact, it actually looks better into the side pocket from here. So there is a plant on. And I presume he spotted it. And he's going to play it from this side, but has he gone far enough? Well, this might actually turn the ball over. I don't think you can really see enough of it to guarantee this is going to work. Yes, it is going to work. That was well done. Didn't go through comfortably enough for the black though. He's going to have to dink this in. Well, looking at that brown, I think you've got to go loads of top and try and come down this side to the red, or down to that bunch there, far enough if you can make the cut, and that looks pretty good. There's a game that I saw today. It looks as if it's made by, with the greatest respect, I don't know what the hell language he was talking, but he must be Polish or something. And what's it called? Speedway. Is it Speedway Challenge 2023? I mean, it looks a bit ropey, but it looks as if you could have a good laugh playing it. I think it's as if it's one of these single guy game developers that's made it. It's only £9 on Steam though, but I was looking at it on the download sites, and I was in two minds to download it and test it out, but having looked at the video, it just looks a bit too ropey. And all you're really doing at the end of the day, it's a bit like NASCAR, all you're doing is driving around in circles all the time. And I've tried every NASCAR racing game, believe me. Oh. So Matt's break, I think, was 42. He's got a 55-point lead. Now, hyzeric needs to pot this blue. Well, you've got to be on your toes with Steam refunds, by the way. If you try something and it's crap, you've got to be on your toes to get your refund. That's why I download them and test them rather than go through that rigmarole. Well, that was the most obvious shot that hyzeric could do there, because now, did he potted that blue, did he? Yeah, he did. So hang on a minute. He's 50 behind, there's only 43 in the table, so he's already needing a snooker. But as long as the two reds are on the table, he's still in with a chance here. But he's got to keep everything safe. That's half the battle, and that might not be it unless he gets cover, and that may well just lose him the frame. I've been with Steam for goodness knows how many years. I don't know what badge you've got now. It must be like 17 years or something on Steam. And I've bought, I've bought a hell of an amount of crap in my time, and until I thought, well, why am I downloading these things? Why am I paying for these things? Finding out they're crap, and so I have to tell you, I do a lot more investigation before I commit myself to buy a game nowadays. So, Matt into the lead, 2 frames to 1. Alaskan Truck Simulator is a game that I'd been waiting on for a long time. They posted a little video the other day where they're changing to a sort of different direction. Now I don't know what that means. They're only giving a sort of tempter as to what it's going to be. They've maybe had some sort of change of plan. I downloaded the demo. In fact, I'll tell you something. The first thing I said to them, I messaged the developer on their forum and I said, look, you have got to get virtual mirrors into this game, because people like me who don't have VR headsets and all of that stuff and don't use track IR and anything, we need to have virtual mirrors. And believe it or not, they put it in the game. They put it in the game. Admittedly, on the demo version, it was a bit ropey. The frame rate was a bit dodgy because obviously they haven't done a thorough installation of it. But they put virtual mirrors in it. But it's been a long time in development. That's a good game, but not as long as Kartcraft. Kartcraft's a game I've had an eye on for probably 9 years now. The strange thing is they finally did a full release for it a while back there, but you still can't play multiplayer. Multiplayer is not available in it. You can only do online races where you're setting a time to try and get to the top of the list, and so that's why I don't go near it. You know, games like that have to have proper multiplayer. But, you know, the amount of time they've taken to develop it, you would like to think that eventually when they do have online servers, proper set up for setting your own room and races and stuff, it's got to be pretty dialed in. Because they've really spent an awful lot of time developing it. Well, hyzeric going all aggressive, and that has worked out not too bad. So straight away a chance to build up a healthy lead here. Now are we going to see a decent big break here? Because again there's still the work to do first of all before you have to start thinking about bumping anything. He's got to pick his way through these. I had a set of Corsa when it first came out, but again, I never took it any further because it never had karts in it. At least there probably is a mod out for it now. I thought that was, I'll tell you something, I think Assetto Corsa is one of the best driving games, especially if you've got a steering wheel. I think it handles really well. And I'm not a driver, by the way, I'm not a racer, but it really does drive very nice. The biggest disappointment was that, well, what the hell one was it, where they brought out two versions and then they brought out a third version which was like bloody arcade racing. It was crap. I'm trying to remember. I got the first one, but I never got the second one. The second one I downloaded it and tested it out and said, right, I ain't buying this. What the hell's it called? Oh dear. I'll never remember it, but anyway, it was like, you know, it was meant to be like the next generation racing game, but it all went to pot when they brought out the third version of it. And for the life of me, I can't remember what it was called. But the 250 karts in it were brilliant, I have to say that. Break goes to 36. Well, there's the bailout red over that left side pocket as we look is fine to leave there, and that's also a good reason for if you have any sort of angle on this black to just bump the rest of those reds to get them into play. that red there, where are we? I'm at the wrong end of the table now. The camera button changed there. That red there is obviously one that goes. Where if you're at this sort of angle, you can go into it and come back out of it and open these reds. But then you've just got to rely on getting in a colour. So there is a critical point coming in this break as to whether it's going to be a big one or just 60 odd and nothing more. But he does have a chance for quite a... What the hell's this all coming through in my phone? That's about 3 beeps in a row. And it's another beautiful day here in Scotland. 21 degrees it is outside. 70 Fahrenheit. Blue skies. It's been like that for the last 2 weeks. And it's to be like that for the rest of the week pretty much as well. That'll be us probably have our summer, and then it'll be horizontal rain for 3 months. Well, he's on that red at the back of the bunch here because he's hooked himself in the bailout one into the side. This is the one that makes or breaks this high run, or possibility of the high run. And in it goes, and he's on the ping, and now we are well in business here, folks. We are in for a big one if he just picks these off in the right order. And there is still a bucket load of points here to be had. He's got to really just take his time and don't commit until he's 100% certain he's making the right move. Now, immediately, he has to be certain what he's doing here. He's either just going to roll through an inch for that red that's up to the right of the black there over the corner pocket, or play the straight in one where he's stopped a cue ball. That'll do as well. But he wants to get rid of that red that's up there over the pocket because it's blocking the pink. So he needs to take care of that. So red, more than likely black, and then that red he's just passing right now. That's the one to get next, because you want to open that pink up to every pocket you can to give yourself the best chance of keeping this going. The red that's in the left side cushion isn't a problem. I mean, if he gets anywhere good on it, into that top left-hand corner pocket, he won't have any problem there. So now he's out and he's good on that red. He's looking around, but that's the one he should be taking, that one there. And again, must have a decent angle. See, he's now dead straight, so now he's probably better off coming back off this black, just back 2 or 3 inches, to about there to get the red into the side. Needs to watch the pace, just to overhit that a wee bit. It's a wee bit tricky, but it's a little dink, just a little dink back. You don't want to over-dink it though. Well, I mean, if he just rolls the black in, he's bound to be on that red or this red, depending if he can dead weight it. See, he's a bit nervy, and I would be as well. But you've just got to let the cue ball roll out. I mean, even if he rolled too far up this way, he would still have the one down the cushion. Well, he isn't. He's going short of it, and that'll do it. That'll do it. See, he's held nicely for this one, so he's in good shape. The break goes to 87. Now, the only way this is going to go wrong is if he chickens out and hooks himself behind the pink. That's the only way it's going to go wrong. So he needs to hit this where he's coming up to there. So he's got more than a foot to play with to get on this red into this side pocket, going in that direction. And that's fine. That is fine. Now, this is where you have to be thinking about this last red. What's the easiest way to go on this last red? What colour do I play for to do that? Now, he could go forward with a wee bit of right, but he's going to play the pink. If he played with a wee bit of right, he could have got up top side of the blue, or maybe straight and rolled it in and been on it. The fact that he's now got himself pretty straight in the pink means he's in trouble. So the simple way of doing it is pot the green and run through and come up the rail. This has got to be hit unless he's going to leave it in the short side below it. So now he's going up table. But again, he should always be rolling this in. There's no way at all that he should ever miss this. This is simple enough. Just roll it up the rail and it'll hold and it'll go in. But no, no great pace. That'll still go in. And now the break is 103. And well, he's got loads of room in the blue, even though he's the wrong side of it, to get around and out and around the corner and back onto the yellow. He should be fine. Needs to miss the black. Well, now it's tricky. The high break's 128 by Mal. Now this, you go forward, you might come up a bit square. You've got to go high enough past the brown. Oh, that might be a bit soft. That might be a bit soft. That's way too soft. Disaster. He chickened out. You've got to, if anything, you overhit that. If you end up there, it doesn't matter. Look at how far short he was. Oh, that's the best chance we'll have to get the high break in the tournament, and it stops at 110. But that's a big mistake there. I mean, he had 4 foot of room to overhit that cue ball up the table, and he still had a decent shot in the yellow. But anyway, it's still a nice enough break, but it could have been a lot more. It really should have been. But the more important thing is, high breaks for show. It's the scoreboard that matters at the end of the day for the dough. And it's 2 frames apiece. So once again, you've got that exposed red, but the cue ball's behind the yellow, so Matt's going to go for the conventional escape. This is a habit that happens a lot in VP4, where a red ties up the black ball immediately, and the pink hasn't come away from the bunch of reds either. It's locked up. Well, this might be quite good behind the green and blue, but it's nudged the brown, and the black has now been nudged loose. Although, if you pot the black, all you're doing is tying it back up again. Yeah, that was tricky. And now the black has nudged again, but you see the major problem is this bloody red here, because it's still sitting too close to the black spot. Now Matt's going to cut the red, hoping to bump the other red, just hoping to give it a bump like that. I mean, he's on the black, but now he knows the black's going to be tied up. pink's out the game, so once again it's going to be hard work to get a score together here. I'll need to get a quick drink. Well, that'll work. I mean, I'm not sure whether he played for it or not, but if he did, then it's worked out nice. It's at least got the pink free for a colour, but it's going to be tied back up again in a minute. In fact, it won't spot, so now there's a problem. The pink is going to go on the brown spot in a second. So that means that he's really only got the blue and the bulk colours to work with. Oh no, he was on a red. My bad. I was thinking he was in the pink. But sooner or later, if he does pot the pink, that's where it's going to end up. It's going to end up on the brown spot. Well, this red has got a slight angle on it, and he's going to have to dig in to get out of there. Yeah, that was well done. Nice on the blue. But now, further progression in this break is going to be limited. Now, what he really wants to do is pot this red and try and maybe play for the pink where he's got an angle to pot the pink and do a bit of smacking. Now, he's did something with the blue there, and I think he's been unlucky. That's been really unlucky. No, do you mean Alien Wake or something like that? I don't think I don't even know what it's about, let alone have I tried it. I've heard of it, but I've never looked at it. One game I was looking forward to. There was two games I was looking forward to: Star Citizen and Dual Universe, and both of them are extortionate, and that's I'm not entertaining that. Paying for monthly subscriptions and paying extortionate amounts of money for a spaceship. So that I've given them the cold shoulder. I had an eye on them for a long time. A long time. And I don't pay them any attention anymore. As soon as you find out they're going down the buy this, buy that and pay a fortune route. Well, Matt's working hard here. He's having to work hard and use this blue. I think the pink will still spot on the brown spot if he pots it eventually, unless he can take care of that red somehow. And again, with this red that he's on into the side, he just needs to dink through top side of the blue. He's looking around, but the follow-up red after this one, I think, is the problem. Well, he didn't have the angle. Now he's a wee bit in no man's land here. Again, he can play the pink, but he knows it's going to be out of commission when he does it. And if he plays the pink, where's his next red? That's the problem here. Now, he could pot the red and just check the cue ball back into this area here. And he's bound to be on that red. And that will do very nicely. Commentator's eye again. Now this, there's nothing there I don't think. Can he get that back one? Yes he can. But he's got to get out of there and up table though. I think, yes, he can take that red, but he's still got to come back up table. He can't try anything crazy here. He's now going to take the one in the middle by the looks of it. So hopefully this is a line just to run through. And now the hard work starts. And Matt's really done well to get 40 points out of this, I'll tell you. Well, Starfield. I mean, again, there's a guy. Have you heard of a guy called Obsidian? Have you heard of him? Obsidiant. If you're interested in space games and that sort of stuff, you must have accidentally stumbled across one of his videos on YouTube. He's a good guy to subscribe to because he does all sorts of news and stuff about these type of games, and Starfield's one of them that he's been keeping an eye on. So that's a name to type into YouTube and subscribe to him. Obsidian, Obsidiant. You know, he's done all the flight sim stuff, all the space games and everything. That's what he's into. So he's got quite a lot of subscribers, and he's well worth checking out his videos that he does. Well, I don't know how long you've been here, semi-pro, but hyzeric had a great chance to get the high break. A really great chance. He had the colours on the spots. He was in 110, and he had still all the colours there. And what does he do? He doesn't do what I told him to do. You know, he sort of chickened out on the yellow running through. Yeah. Oh dear. You know, you've always got to overhit that shot slightly to guarantee you're going to get out of there and above the line of the baulk line, and to give yourself a good sight in the green. And, you know, that was a bit like what I did. That's exactly a bit like what I did when I was going for a 147 in VP3. I had done all the hard work. I'd done all the reds and blacks, got on the yellow, and I bottled out getting on the green. And I snookered myself just exactly like what he did. That's exactly what he did. I got Eurotruck Game of the Year edition for £9. 17 gigabyte altogether. Now, what does game? Tell me what Game of the Year edition gives you. That should give you all the DLC maps. Well, nice little contribution from Matt, because that was hard work, I'll tell you that, and that's not a bad result. That's excellent. So, a hard work rate from Matt of 55. Well, it's going to be tricky to not leave anything on here. I mean, he could try coming into the back of those two reds, but he's really got to just drop on them dead weight, like a bit like this. And that's beautiful. That is absolutely excellent. That is out of the second page in the Tactical Genius shots in snooker. That was well done. Oh, hang on a minute. That wasn't. I think he's pretty much okay. Does that top red go? Yes, it does. Well, this is going to do damage. And this is pretty much all or nothing. If he gets it and gets a roll here and on a colour, he might have a chance of pinching this frame. But if it goes the other way, he's going to be 3-2 down. This is all your eggs in one basket. Well, it could have finished worse, put it that way. I mean, he has got a shot in the blue. He's got probably a dodgier shot in the black. And again, that red I don't think has moved. Or has it? I don't think the black will spot. It won't matter anyway because he's not going for the black. Need to stick it on. What's that I've missed? Need to stick you on in the background. Oh, you mean me? Are you busy working or something? Well, that angle in the blue, I don't know whether it's a bit too much, and I think it's a bit too much to come off it and hold for that red there. I'm not sure. I think it is. Yeah, it was too thin. Needs to bounce though. Needs to bounce. Well, I think he's obviously got to stun this into to avoid running into the other red. Just stun past it. Because he doesn't want to be leaving this, blue. Well, that was always the tricky part of it, was getting the line of the pot. Well, there's still 51 in the table, so he's still in with a good chance here, but Matt now is weighing up the pros and cons of taking on a red, but that last red top left is where he should just be clipping it and ducking behind the green and brown. That's what I'd be doing. This is it's a big risk if he took on that cut in the top red, the one out into the table. The one up the table has to be really thin, just to brush it along that top cushion. He's tempting himself here, Matt. He's got what's he got? He's got a 43-point lead, and that's too risky. He's got to get this really thin, and that'll do. Just doesn't quite have the legs, but it might be awkward on top of the green though. Oh, this is going to be horrible. And that's just as bad as a snooker. Trying to get the right contact on that red up in the top cushion. Oh, I don't know how long ago I said that. I'm not listening to myself. I don't remember. No, that's beautiful. Believe me, that was a great shot. Because that is so difficult to pick the edge of that red. And he's left nothing on, which is the thing that was of paramount importance there. And this is likewise is tough for Matt, where he doesn't want to nudge something out into the open now. He can overcut the red. He overcut it back into the other red and get the cue ball into the long grass. It's a fairly straightforward enough shot. He's just got to watch how he contacts it. He doesn't want to get it too thin where it's not getting to the rail and coming out. That's perfect. That will do very nicely indeed. Thank you very much. And that is a superb shot. okay, I mean, it's not a full snooker, but again, it forces hyzeric into getting a really fine touch on that red in the top cushion, and if he gets it too fine, he could end up nudging into the red coming back out and leaving Matt on that red. So this is tough. It's as tough as they come to try and get out of that end of the table there. He's got it thicker and he's spun away now. He needs to miss the contact in the black. Well, Matt's got the shot. And he's got colours waiting for him if he can just get back up the table. And that will be this frame over. Black will, I don't know whether it will go in at the spot now, but it doesn't really matter whether it goes there or on the pink spot. Oh, he needs to watch the cue ball though. He needs to watch the cue ball. Well, I think he's fine. He can still, can he see any of that red up table? Oh, yes, he can. So he'll go for the double probably. He'll give it a pop up the table. There's a danger in doing that though, because if this red comes back into play and hyzeric pots the red, he can use that last red where it is and get a snooker. And that was probably, it was probably the right shot in one sense. Now, can he see this red to pot it? No, he can't. He can try bunting it around the table and leaving the cue ball in baulk though. He needs to watch the path of the red though. The red might come around the angles and bump it into the green and brown. That I think that's the one he has to play. The problem is he must get cover, because this red's going to go around the angles, and if it misses the green and brown, it's heading up to the top right hand corner of the table. Question is whether it's going to go narrow enough to hit this. Oh, he's played it soft. He's played it soft, and he may well be nailed to the blue in a second. See, the line it took there, if he'd hit that harder, the line it took was going that way, and well, that's a poor one from Matt. I mean, that really is a poor shot. He should have had that cue ball nailed in the blue every day of the week there. And it's given hyzeric a chance, albeit it's tough, because he's 51 behind, and there's only the 43 in the table, so that last red must stay in the table. There's a green and brown down here that's worth trying to get behind at some point. So he's got to come up with something clever now. Does the black spot? That's the question. I don't think it does. It's very close as to whether it does. It'd be handy if it did, because then he could try and duck behind it. I don't think it'll spot though. I think it'll go in the pink spot. Well, we're about to find out. Well, if it does, he's now in trouble. Yeah. Well, it does spot. In fact, you know, you've got a double-decker bus on there. It looked awful tight, and that's not what he wanted. He wanted to be there to at least bunt the red up the table and kill the cue ball. Now he's going to try and skim back behind the black off the side rail. Oh, I like that. That is a very nice touch. That is excellent. That's a great shot. I mean, they are so tricky to play. And this red's wide open. And there you go. There's the first 4 points. Now, of course, the fact that hyzeric needs snookers, the foul and miss doesn't come into play. So he needs to overcut the red, avoid the black, and get down into this bulk area if he can. But I think that this is tricky. He's worried about the black, and he's worried about the pace that he's putting in the red, because this red could come right across the table if he gets this wrong. I don't believe he's potting it. He's got to keep it in the table. This is a touchy shot, this, to get it right. In fact, that's why, you know, he's just sort of rolled it to the side cushion there, because it was dodgy getting away from the red, and hitting it at a pace to get into baulk would have probably brought the red across the table. And now there's just a wee bit of pressure on Matt. Now he's gone for the pot. He's gone all out. Now hyzeric again can try and get this red out of the way and try and keep the cue ball somewhere in behind these baulk colours. I can't believe he wants to pot it. Again, look at the path this red's going though. You know, that path in the red is a bit worrying. If you go that way, it's come in this direction sort of, but he's potted it. So now of course he must get a colour, but he's still needing a snooker, I think. At least one. Let me try and do my arithmetic. If we give him the pink, that's 31. He'll be 32 behind. He needs 2 snookers still. I think he should have done his best to try and keep that red in the table. It's a bit risky, but he's committed now. Well, the shot he played to dink behind that black ball previously, well, he's going to have another go at something similar to try and get over behind the green and brown. He needs to watch that he gets this yellow past the side pocket though, if he's doing that. That's a bit heavy. And Matt will have a go at really securing the frame here. And then it goes, so Matt goes into a 3-2 lead. So just a little tidy up job for Matt. Left that way short. I still think it would have been worth trying to keep that last red in the table. Okay, you had to rely on a little bit of luck not to leave Matt a shot, but it's paramount importance that you have to do your best you can to keep that last red in the table. And he might have still had a chance. So again we have the loose red, and again I think we've got the black tied up. Same again, you know, red right next to the black, pink's not in the game either. But this has actually been a pretty good standard match from both players. I mean, we've also had an attempt at the first frame that lasted about 15 minutes, which ended up in a call a draw and a restart. How's his luck? I don't think it's that good. So, just a duck straight up the table. Just got to miss the blue when he's playing this red. You just want to skim past that blue. So ideally he wants to bump that pink out into the table slightly. No, he's gone the narrow side. I would have dinked it a wee bit further so that I'm going this side of the blue. Okay, he's not left anything on. Well, that was a tricky little shot as well, to be playing that red next to the black and getting enough fizz in the cue ball to get out of there, but he's done it. But once again, the black's in play, and if the black gets potted, it's going to be sitting right next to that red again, I think. Well, that's got cover in the red. Cue ball's got a good length. And Matt's just having a look at what reds might nudge out here, and he's looking at a similar line to get up behind the green and brown. Green and blue. And this is just going to sneak out, I think. I don't think he can see enough of it. No, he can't. And that's actually ended up at a good safety, because he can't see either of them. Well, he can see that one, obviously, but he can only see the right-hand side of it, which is absolutely no good. So he's going to have to maybe. I mean, there is a shot where you can go 2 rails, I think, and come into the side of the pack that side. And he can go 1 rail and get into the side of the pack from that side. He's got to get the line right, though. And that's going too wide. Is he going to bump through it? Yes, he has done. Now, if I was Matt, I'd be giving this a bit of a bump to try and. I don't know that he can actually do it looking at it. But yeah, the cut angle in the red is going to bring him out onto the black, but that red's still stuck there, and the black will be dead in the water if he pots it. I don't know whether he can get any sort of nudge where he would still maybe be able to pot this black, but get that red out of the way. The angle isn't great. No, he's going forward to get out of there. And now the pink's tied up pretty much. Well, it will go into the side. Steve needs to add a proper snooker match format to VP4 now. In what respects are you talking about there, Repetition? Explain yourself so that I understand what you're getting at. You're talking about offline. And in terms of format, what do you mean by that? Proper snooker tournament format, no one lost side. Well, you can have that in any snooker tournament you want. It's the virtual world championships that are, double elimination to make it fair. I mean, back in the VP3 days, it was always single elimination. Sunday snooker, that was it. You lose your match, you're gone. It was races to 2 Sunday snooker. And there was no such thing as double elimination in the VP3 days because there was no tournament system for it. The tournament system that we had was self-built by Nugget, who is no longer in VP4. He doesn't play it at all. He's too busy jogging around the countryside as far as I can gather. Him and his son get into all these races. Now, what's happened to Matt? Is he dead and buried here, or is he still connected? What's happening? There's nothing. Seems no life in his queue. You know, there's nothing doing at the moment because he's obviously on a colour, which would be the black, or it could be the pink into the side. Problem then is the cue balls come in this sort of direction, unless he dinked the pink into the side and just sort of brushed through and held on to that red. I don't know, but I don't know what the hell's happened with Matt. It looks as if he's lost his connection or fallen asleep in front of the PC. But we wait and wonder. I just thought I would ask if he was still there. I don't think he is, but it's taken a hell of a long time, if he has disconnected, for it to pop up and let us know. And it's not as if you know, he's got called away to do something. He'd normally type and say he'll be back in a minute or something. So the fact that there's no dialogue would suggest that he's gone, or his game's hung up or something. Well, your guess is as good as mine, folks. I haven't a clue what's going on here. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Just in case it's me, I'm going to leave the room and see if I can get back in. Well, now the queue's round the other way. That's an improvement. But there's still nothing happening. I think he's gone. I think he's definitely gone. I wonder if hyzeric is still there. Well, Whiskey's in the room. Hyzeric has said he's here, so right, I think it's time to get on the phone and see if we can get Matt on Facebook and ask him what the hell's going on. Let's see if I can get a hold of him. Where the hell is it? Matt, there he is. You there? Question mark. Send. Let's see if we get any answer from him. Probably won't if his connection's gone, but there's no harm in trying. And now he's typing something, so there we go. He says, yeah, I'm playing. I'm just going to hit enter. No, you're not. He says he is. And I'm just telling him, all of us see your queue doing nothing. He says he's in a 29 break. Oh dear. Well, Matt's somehow lost his connection and he's still playing, which is even weirder. Steve's going to have to get this. He's going to have to know about this one. Right, hang on. I don't know how this is going to be resolved. He's shown me clips of him playing. he sent me a video link of him playing. But oh, hang on a minute. Right, well, I don't. Yeah, now he's come into the room and he's finding out that he's only on 7 points. Well, I'm glad whoever's still there watching this has witnessed it, because that was strange. Finding out that Matt, he was not. The poor guy was in a 29 break, and now suddenly he quit and then he re-entered. Right, so now it's recovered, because there was obviously a connection issue. Well, I don't know what. That's the first time I've ever seen that happen. We've all seen people disconnect. Well, there's only one good thing about that, and the good thing is he wasn't on an 89 break. He was only in 29. That's the only good thing about it. But we're sitting here watching his cue. I mean, I left the room and his cue went the other direction when I come back in, but it didn't move an inch. So that was weird. I wonder if he's. Oh, hang on a minute, I've had a message through. Matt says, bullshit, though I was on the verge of winning. You've got to laugh, because there's nothing else can be done about it. It's unfortunate. No, Steve's going to have to explain how that happened. I wonder if Steve's there. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute, folks. That's not the thing I was looking for. Right, I'm going to. I think we'll see the end of this visit first of all. Well, he hasn't got to 29 yet, so that's his first target, to get those 29 points back that he lost. And I think he's blocked himself off in the black, has he? Yeah. Well, he's got to probably roll this dead weight, because if he stuns it in and stuns too far, he could block himself out in the red to the right of the pack. You see, the cue ball just threatened to run away there. I think he's still okay. Well, now it's simple enough, just a little dink in through to the rail and back out. And now he's going to be on. He's going to be in 31. Now, what are we going to do? Are we going to add up the 31 break and the 20 break? Are we going to do that? Are we going to do that? Oh, no luck, I don't think. Well, has that red squirted out far enough? Quick look. Well, he can cut it into the middle. He can also get that other one behind the pink. That's a little dinky shot to probably brush that red, maybe, and come back for the black. He might be on the pink as well here. He could play it both ways. But the angle he's got in the red, I think the angle's actually more that he's going to catch the top of the red. This is dodgy. He's trying to go through and hold for the pink into the other side pocket. Well, again, it's just a little more angle. You'd always like to sort of be rolling these in. He's going to be nudging up the table here, and he might not have an awful lot on for him. He's going to have to maybe jab this in and try and bump into these. Well, it's neither good nor bad. It's another little tricky angle. So, the break goes to 39, all of which we have seen this time. Well, let's have a look at what the options are off this vault colour. He would have to play the brown, and he would have to go around the corner tight to go that way to try and get the red above the black. That would be one option. If he's looking at the green, he's too straight, so he'd have to go really forward and around the angles and try and get lucky. And see, that's why that wasn't the shot. The shot was the one I was talking about. He had to play the brown, and he had to get it into the corner and the cue ball around the angles tight to come this side of the green, the red. And you know, this is going back to what I said the other night. It's about playing the right shot. That was never going to be good on a red. But all he's doing now is protecting his points, trying to duck for cover. Right, give me a minute. Oh, hang on to get this thing to work. We're back in a second. There's nothing much doing here at the moment. I'll be back in a second. There's still nothing happening. The reds are still where they are. I'm just trying to get a hold of Steve when it's in my head to get him told what happened, but I don't think he is. I don't think he's there. No, getting no reply, so he's obviously busy. Right, I'll be back with you in 1 second now. I'll need to remember and tell him later when I see him. So, foul and miss called. Now, Matt could brush the red next to the black and just roll out to the side. I don't think he would leave anything on, and that's not going to get there either. Let's have a look. That red there, that one there, if you just brush the red there and go that direction there, I don't think you're going to leave much on. The only one you could leave on is the one that you're brushing, and you're brushing it towards the red where the pink's in line, and I don't know that he's seen that shot. I mean, he's trying to run in. If he's trying to run into the back here, it's good if it works, but if he just brushes that red like that, see, he's brushed it and hit it too thick. You had to just skim it, a feather-light skim, and get the cue ball down into here. So even though he's left the red on, it's still going to be hard work to get a lot out of this. The pink doesn't go into this side, so whatever hyzeric does, it's going to be tough. Black's no good either where it's sitting really. And that needs to keep rolling. Well, I say needs to keep rolling, even though it is rolling, it's just slightly the right side of the blue. He's not got an awful lot of angle to work with. The problem is he's nothing good to get on. Can he see the pink? Yes, he can. That's better. I didn't even notice that he could see the pink. I think he's going to have to stun this for. And that's a good shot. So, hyzeric under pressure here because it's at a vital point. He's still trailing by quite a bit here in this frame. And the first priority is to stay at the table and at least get back into it. And if he has any falter here, it could be frame and match. It's just a wee bit too heavy this time for the blue. So again, it's harder work just to keep tab of things and get good control of the cue ball. I mean, he could take the pink. If he takes the pink, it's dodgy about getting on a red though. And this is just as dodgy because he's pretty straight in, so it's a screw back up the table, hoping that he runs into some sort of shape here. You know, this is where you're just relying on luck, and he ain't got it. I mean, okay, he's still got a bailout up table, but that's always a risk that you're taking and ended up having some sort of shot. Now, again, he's put the pressure on himself. He's no problem getting on a colour. It's all about the pot. And that's going to the jaw, and that ain't going in, and that's what happens. You know, you put the pressure on yourself by. I think the shot he should have maybe taken on would have been the pink. It was just as difficult, but the cue ball was at least heading in the right direction amongst the reds. And Matt now has a chance to seal the frame and match. And he's not good either. He's got to take the black. That's too far past the blue. So not problem now getting on either of those reds. Probably the one near the black spot or the one on the back cushion. Unless he wants to come back off the black to leave this one into the other corner. So he's got choices as to what he wants to do here. And that will work out as well because he's now in the middle one. That's fine. So this match is all but over in the next few minutes here if Matt can stay at the table. The lead is 29. The lead will be 36 with the black. So he needs one more red and colour to secure the frame and match. And he's got a nice angle on that red in the cushion, just to dink it in and get up high enough for the black. Oh, I think he's chickened out. I think he's chickened out. Well, he's got there. He's got a pot in the black, but he could have been a bit more punchy through that cue ball there to get nice and comfortable in the black. He should still get this though, and he's just got to watch he doesn't snooker himself on the red by the pink, because the way the cue ball's going, he needs to make sure he can at least see a red. He doesn't want to put himself in trouble here. And that's fine, he's played at dead weight pace, but he's left the black hanging. So now he is, what is he, 37 in front, and there's 43 in the table. So last chance saloon for hyzeric. Now again, that all came about because Matt didn't punch the red in enough to get the cue ball. Should have been there. It should never have been here. He should have just went right through and played the shot, and he just sort of bottled out in it a wee bit. And hyzeric has a lifeline here. He needs everything. So the black will take him to 30. He'll be 29 behind. There's still the last red and a colour. And well, the table's good for running out. It's all about nerve. Now that has brushed off the red, and that's no good. But with this shot, you always overcut it. That's really what you're trying to do. You don't want to get this really into the pocket and leave it hanging. I would be erring on the safety here. Just overcutting that red and sending it behind the black and coming back into bault. That's really what I'd be doing. I'd be bottling out. But fair play to him. He's had a go. He's got it. Now he must get on a colour. And that'll do. The brown is good enough. But Matt had the match in his hands there. You know, he was almost ready to pack up the cue there. And the angle in the brown, he's trying to avoid the yellow. He doesn't want to run into it. And I don't know that he's managed to just dink it back. The angle was obviously a lot better for doing that than it looked from this side. So now, every colour on its spot. This is just a practice routine in normal course of events. So once again, got to get high enough in the green. You don't want to be leaving yourself square and have to play left-hand side or anything like that. Let's have a look. Well, this is fine. This is just let it run to the cushion and come back this side. Don't try and get dinky. You know, pot it and let the cue ball come out. Well, he is dinking it, but he's played it well. I always like to come across far enough on that shot. My nerves don't hold out to play these dinky things. But he's in good shape. Needs the angle to be good in the blue though. And he couldn't have landed much better. Now he's got a choice in what he does here. He could go through far enough to play this pink back into the side, or he can try and jab off it. I don't know whether he can hold from this, can he? Maybe he can. Is it too much an angle to run through? Yeah, he's going up table. That's, you know, it needs a lucky kiss. Well, at least he's got a shot, but he's got to get this, run into bault and back down for the black. This is nervy, but it's all about trying to hang into the match. Oh dear. And how's his luck? He's going to need some. I think he's got it. Or has he? No, he hasn't. And Matt's just got a simple roll in. And that's a bad way to end up losing it. He had it in his grasp as well to take this all the way. And Matt, just a simple roll in to secure the match. So well done to Matt. We had a chance early on from hyzeric as well to get the high break of the tournament. He fell short on that, got 110. And Matt had his little glitch in the middle of the frame. But he goes through, and I enjoyed that match. I think it was pretty good standard all round. But Matt comes out on top by 4 frames to 2. So now we'll have a quick look at the bracket on the win-loss side. We've got one match remaining. That's the match with Mr. Fox and Semi-Pro, which, that's going on tonight at 7:30. So that'll be the next match in less than 90 minutes' time on the one-loss side. And if we look at the bracket, we've got Matt through now, presumably waiting on the winner of that match, and that's exactly what it is. So we've got Mr. Fox and Semi-Pro going at it in about an hour and 20 minutes' time on the one-loss side. And I will be there for that. I'm going to go get dinner, and I will be back later. So thanks, chaps, for watching. I hope you can join us. If you can't, remember this video will be on the snooker playlist. I'll add this one in a little while, and the one later on tonight will be as well. So until we meet again, I'll bid you good afternoon, and if you're coming on later, I'll see you later.